In this video, we're going to discuss functional groups. So this video is meant to be an aid to the reading that you should do out of your book. So you need to read sections 212 and 213, which is all about functional groups. But I'm making a short video because there are sometimes is a little bit of confusion about what exactly a functional group is. So a functional group is a distinct chemical unit on a molecule. And the reason that we're interested in it is that has a lot to do with the reactivity of that molecule. So a given functional group will react a certain way, and if we can identify the functional groups and then look at the polarity of those functional groups, we're halfway to predicting what the products of a reaction are. So your book covers each individual functional group for you, but where students seem to run into trouble sometimes is picking them out when they're on a larger molecule. So we are going to look at a larger molecule and then identify what the different functional groups on this molecule are. So I'm going to draw this guy. There's an H. Okay, so I have a molecule here with a number of different functional groups on it. And here's the deal. There's a lot of functional groups that include this C double bond O functionality. When the C double bond O is by itself and its neighbors are both carbons, then that is a ketone. Okay, so on either side of this carbonyl are carbon atoms. And when there's carbon atoms on either side, that is a ketone functionality. Down here we have another carbonyl, but right next door to it, the neighboring atom is an OH. So this is a carboxylic acid. It contains the carbonyl group, which is the C double bond O, but its next door neighbor, an OH, is different than a C. Okay, so we can't just circle the carbonyl group. We need to circle what's next door to it as well, or think about what's next door to it as well. So on that note then, we'll go over here. We see that right next door to this carbonyl that I just circled is an NH2. That's called an amide when they are next door neighbors like that. Now down here, I have an NH2 and it's just attached to a carbon. So when it's just attached to a carbon, that functional group is called an amine. So what you need to do is read your book and identify the different types of functional groups and then practice picking them out. So it's not just important that you recognize a carbonyl, for instance. You need to recognize the difference of what is next door to it, because there are many functional groups that contain a carbonyl. Okay, when it's by itself with carbons, then it's a ketone. If I had had an H next door instead of a C on at least one side, that is an aldehyde. So look at your book, read over the different functional groups and remember them, and then practice recognizing them on different molecules. There's a number of problems in the back of the book that'll be an aid for this.